Faith Fraser was never supposed to return. Her story was meant to be the most tragic chapter of Claire's life, buried in heartbreak, sealed by grief, and locked away in a past even time travel couldn't change. But Outlander Season 8 just cracked that story wide open. Now the unthinkable is happening. The child Claire thought she lost forever may have been alive all along. And this isn't just a ghost from the past. Faith's return is about to shake everything: Jaime and Claire's love, the timeline, and even the fate of the war itself. Fans were prepared for war and heartbreak, but nothing could have prepared us for this. And if what we're hearing is true, the ending of Outlander will not only rewrite everything we thought we knew, it might destroy us completely. So how is this even possible? That's the question haunting every fan right now. We all remember the devastating moment in Season 2 when Claire gave birth to Faith in Paris. She was premature, lifeless, and it broke Claire in ways we've never seen before or since. That was one of the most gut-wrenching episodes in the entire series. And yet, now the creators have introduced a twist that flips all of it on its head. The reveal at the end of Season 7 hinted that Faith might not have died. There's no clear explanation, yet only whispers, clues, and cryptic lines, but it was enough to ignite a storm of theories. Did someone take Faith away and lie to Claire? Could time travel have rewritten events without anyone realizing? Or is there something supernatural happening, something that ties into Claire's unspoken power? That's where things start to get truly wild. Because remember, this twist isn't from the books. It's completely new. Even longtime readers are in the dark, which means the writers have total freedom to take this in any direction they want. No spoilers, no roadmap, just pure mystery. And that's what makes it so thrilling. Catriona Balfe called this twist emotionally devastating. And if Faith is truly alive, we're not ready for what comes next. But while this shock has fans reeling, not everyone's coming back in Season 8, and one absence has already sparked major outrage. Jenny Fraser Murray, Jaime's fierce and loyal sister, won't be returning. For many fans, this is a massive disappointment. Jenny has always been a grounding force in Jaime's life. She's sharp, protective, and unafraid to speak hard truths. And her dynamic with Claire added so much depth to the Fraser family legacy. So to hear that she's being left out of the final season, it stings. According to showrunner Matthew B. Roberts, the decision wasn't personal, it was logistical. With only 10 episodes to wrap up a story this big, sacrifices had to be made. But that explanation hasn't comforted everyone. Online forums have exploded with frustration. Fans are calling it a betrayal, a gap that leaves Jaime's story feeling unfinished. After all, if this is truly the end of the main Outlander saga, how can it end without Jenny? Especially when her story in the books goes so much further. It's clear that the final season is forcing some tough choices. Characters we love are being pushed out, while new twists like Faith's return are pulling the spotlight in completely unexpected directions. It's bold storytelling, risky storytelling. And that's exactly why it feels so suspenseful right now. And let's not forget the growing tension between destiny, love, and loss. If Faith is alive, who raised her? Does she know who Claire is? Who Jaime is? What if she's been living in another time, entirely, maybe even the future? This opens the door to more time travel than ever before. We know Bree and Roger have jumped through time for their kids. We know Mandy and Jaime have inherited Claire's strange gift. But Faith? She was born in another century. And if someone tampered with her fate, the consequences could ripple through every generation of Frasers. What if the war Claire is about to face is tied to Faith's return? What if saving Faith means losing Jaime? That's the kind of dilemma this show thrives on: love against fate, sacrifice against hope. Claire's entire identity is built around saving people. But can she save the one person she thought was already gone? And speaking of life or death stakes, we have to talk about Jaime Fraser. Because while the mystery of faith is rising, Jaime's future is hanging by a thread. In Go Tell the Bees That I Am Gone, Jaime suffers a brutal injury during battle. He's left for dead, and it's Claire who finds him. But this time, her medicine might not be enough. There's something more that has to happen. And that's where Claire's power, something magical, something ancient, could be the key. For years, Diana Gabaldon has hinted that Claire's abilities aren't just about science, that there's a deeper magic running through her veins. Now in Season 8, it seems like the show is ready to embrace that. Imagine this: Claire, torn between past and present, love and magic, forced to choose between bending time itself or losing Jaime forever. And if Faith's survival is somehow connected to that same force, then Claire is at the center of something far bigger than any of us thought. Season 8 is shaping up to be more than just a finale, it's a reckoning. A storm of old wounds, lost children, impossible choices, and ancient secrets. It's clear that the writers aren't holding anything back. This is the end of the road. And if they're going down, they're going to take us with them, heart first. With Faith's shocking return hanging in the air, and Jenny's absence creating a hole in the Fraser family. Season 8 is already layered in emotional landmines, and we haven't even touched the war yet. The Revolutionary War is here. And this isn't just background noise, it's the storm that will consume every character we love. Jaime, Claire, Ian, William, they're all tangled in it. We've seen Outlander portray violence before. But this war? This is different. This is chaos on a national scale, and it's personal. For Jaime, it's the war he always feared, one where he's fighting against his own blood. His son, William, still loyal to the British crown, is about to face horrors that will crush his soul. Actor Charles Vandervaart confirmed that William's identity is going to unravel in Season 8. He knows the truth now. He knows Jaime is his father, but can he live with that? Can he fight for the crown knowing the man on the other side of the battlefield might be his own blood? Imagine the weight of that. William was raised with duty in his veins, but now he's torn between what he was taught and who he really is. And if war brings them face to face, if Jaime has to raise a weapon not knowing who's charging at him, that's the kind of heartbreak Outlander is famous for. And it's not just Jaime and William. Every single character is being pushed to their limit. Ian has already tasted loss, and he's no stranger to bloodshed, but this war will test his soul. For Claire, the stakes are even higher. She's trying to protect her family while walking through a battlefield soaked in history, some of it written in blood, some of it still unwritten. And for the first time, her knowledge of the future might not be enough to save anyone. And it's not just physical danger this season, it's spiritual. The mystery surrounding Claire's connection to time, magic, and now possibly resurrection is reaching a boiling point. Diana Gabaldon has always danced on the edge of fantasy with this series, but Season 8 is crossing that line in the most haunting way. The idea that Claire could somehow bring Jaime back from the brink, or that she's already unknowingly saved Faith in the past, suggests there are forces at work we barely understand. Remember, Claire is not just a healer, she's a time traveler. And now we're seeing that this ability may come with a price. It's not just about where she can go, it's about what she has to give up. We've seen hints of it before her. Struggle to hold on to love across centuries, the pain of losing people in both timelines, but now it looks like the very fabric of time is fraying. And with that comes terrifying possibilities. What if Claire has to go back again to save someone? What if she has to choose which life survives, Jaime's or Faith's? What if her powers are bound to something darker, something that demands a cost she can't pay? These aren't just emotional questions, they're existential ones. They threaten the entire identity of the show. Because if Claire becomes more than human, what happens to the love story we've been rooting for all these years? What happens to Jaime's place in it? What happens to the family they've built? Speaking of family, Brianna and Roger are facing their own terrifying crossroads. After all the time travel, all the trauma, all the near-death experiences, they've come to a place where the line between past and present is blurred beyond recognition. But now, their children Jaime and Mandy are beginning to show signs of something else entirely. We've already seen that they might have inherited Claire's strange sensitivity to time. But what if there's something more? What if this next generation of Frasers holds the key to how all of this ends? The writers have hinted that Jaime and Mandy's storyline will become pivotal in Season 8, and possibly even lead into a future spin-off. But in the context of this season, that means danger. That means choices. That means secrets that haven't surfaced, yet ones that could rewrite everything we thought we knew about Claire's bloodline. Imagine if Mandy is the missing link. Imagine if saving Faith somehow depends on Mandy's powers. Or worse, what if Mandy's life depends on the survival of a sister she's never met? These layers aren't just emotional, they're devastating. Because the one thing Outlander does best is show us that love and time are always at war with each other. And in Season 8, that war is turning deadly. And as if that weren't enough to rip our hearts out, the show's final destination is still a mystery. Diana Gabaldon hasn't finished the last book, which means the writers are creating an original ending for the series. And if Game of Thrones taught us anything, it's that this is dangerous territory. Fans are already nervous. Sam Heughan himself said that the ending will be emotional, massive, and surprising. That's code for brace yourself. Because if they're breaking away from the books, anything is possible. Jaime might die. Claire might vanish into time. Faith might live, but at what cost? Or the show could pull the ultimate twist and end in a way no one saw coming. Think about it. For 8 seasons, Outlander has been about survival, love, and impossible choices. But now, all those threads are converging into a single point, the finale. It's not just a question of what happens, it's a question of who we lose, and who we get to keep. Now let's dig deeper into what Faith's return really means for Claire, for the timeline, and for Outlander as a whole, because this isn't just about a baby presumed dead coming back. This is about ripping open the oldest wound in Claire's soul and making her live through it all over again. We all saw how Claire grieved for Faith. That loss was so raw, so violent, it left a scar that never fully healed. It changed her. And now, the very foundation of that pain is being questioned. If Faith is alive, then everything Claire believed was true. Wasn't. And that kind of emotional unraveling is more dangerous than any battlefield. Imagine having to face the idea that your grief was built on a lie. Or worse, on someone else's choice to take your child away. Whether it was time itself, a hidden enemy, or something supernatural, we don't know yet. But one thing is clear. The writers are about to drag Claire through the darkest emotional journey of her life. Because this time, it's not about saving someone from death or war. It's about reclaiming a life that was stolen from her. And the cost of that could be devastating. Claire's already lost so much: Frank, Fergus, Marsali, even Bree at times. But Faith? That was the one loss that never stopped bleeding. So if she's back now, the question isn't just how. It's why now? What is the purpose of this return? And what are we going to have to give up for it? And here's where the timeline gets even messier. Because if Faith somehow survived hidden away or taken through time, it means someone out there knew more than Claire. Someone orchestrated this. And if time travel was involved, then it might not have been an accident. What if Faith was taken intentionally? What if there's another faction of time travelers we haven't met yet, one with their own agenda, their own rules, and their own idea of what the past and future should look like? That would explain a lot of the strange occurrences we've seen over the years, people appearing where they shouldn't be, knowledge being passed through time in mysterious ways. It might even tie back to the stones themselves, the mysterious portals that have always been at the heart of Outlander's mythology. Up until now, the show has kept things grounded in emotion, using time travel as a tool to explore relationships. But with Faith's return, it feels like the series is finally acknowledging the deeper forces behind the time shifts. This is no longer just about who can travel, it's about who controls it. And Claire may be closer to the center of that mystery than anyone else. After all, she was never just a time traveler. She was chosen. And Season 8 is making that clearer than ever. But as we look ahead, we also have to consider what Faith's return could do to Claire and Jaime's bond. These two have survived everything: rape, betrayal, war, separation, and death. Their love has been tested across centuries. But this twist? This is something new. This is about confronting the past in a way that threatens their present. Jaime never knew Faith. He was locked away in prison when she was born and died. He's only ever known her through Claire's pain. So what happens when that pain becomes a person? What happens when the grief that bonded them turns into a living, breathing child one Jaime never held, never protected, never even knew? There's a beauty in that, yes, but also danger. Because now Claire's attention, her heart, might be split in ways Jaime can't prepare for. Faith isn't a baby anymore. If she's alive, she's grown. She's a woman with a life, and possibly with resentment. She may feel abandoned, lost, or even angry. And if she returns with questions why she was left, who her parents really are, Claire and Jaime will have to face the consequences of a history they didn't write, but must now answer for. This could test their relationship like never before. And as much as we love watching them overcome obstacles together, this one feels different. This one feels like it could break something. Meanwhile, as all of this unfolds, the Revolutionary War continues to close in around them. There's no escaping it. No running. Jaime and Claire are smack in the middle of one of the bloodiest chapters in American history, and it's about to explode. We already know that Jaime will be gravely wounded, left on a mountain to die, just like in the books. But this time, we don't know what happens next. The books give us one version of events, but the show? The show is already rewriting the rules. If Jaime dies here, it will crush fans, but it will also make sense in the tragic, poetic way that Outlander often tells its biggest stories. He was always a warrior, always the protector, and dying in Claire's arms, during the war he fought so hard to avoid, would be the coolest end to his story, but also one that fits the tone of the final season. Of course, fans are hoping for a miracle. Maybe Claire saves him. Maybe she uses whatever gift she has left. But if she does, what will it cost her? Magic never comes free. And if resurrecting Faith or saving Jaime means giving up something else, like her future, her memories, or even her life, then Outlander might end in the most bittersweet way imaginable. There's also the chilling possibility that this twist isn't real. That Faith's return isn't what it seems. What if it's a trick? A mirage? A manipulation by someone who knows Claire's weakness? We've seen people use time travel for evil before. And if someone wanted to distract Claire, break her spirit, what better way than to dangle the one thing she's always mourned right in front of her? It's the kind of psychological torment Outlander isn't afraid to explore. We've seen it with Guyless, with Black Jack, with Lionel Brown. So what if this is another trap, one last devastating game to destroy Claire's hope before the series ends? The emotional impact would be unbearable. And if that happens, it won't just break Claire. It'll break all of us too. As the storm of Season 8 gathers, one thing becomes crystal clear. Outlander is no longer just telling a love story across time. It's becoming a reckoning of every choice, every secret, and every sacrifice made along the way. Faith's return may feel like a miracle, but miracles in this world always come with consequences. And as more information leaks out, it's looking like Faith might not be the only person returning. There are rumors, unconfirmed, but growing louder, that another time traveler could appear. Someone who's been working behind the scenes all along. If true, this figure might be responsible for Faith's survival. Think about it. What if someone from the future intervened at the moment of Faith's birth? What if they took her, protected her, raised her elsewhere, and waited for the right moment to bring her back? The implications of that are staggering. It would mean that Claire's life has been manipulated without her knowledge, that even her deepest loss was never really in her control. And if Claire has been moved like a chess piece across timelines, then the war, the injuries, the love, even the heartbreak, it all might have been orchestrated. That level of manipulation would crush anyone. But for Claire, whose identity has always been grounded in truth, in choice, in autonomy, it would be absolutely soul-shattering. Now, if we take these theories a step further, a horrifying thought emerges. What if Faith was taken not out of kindness, but for a purpose? What if she was meant to fulfill a prophecy, complete a circle, or open a door to something bigger? We already know that the time-traveling families in Outlander are not random. Claire, Brianna, Roger, Jaime, Mandy, they're all connected. There's a bloodline here that links time travel to specific genes or spiritual forces. And if Faith shares that gift, then she might be more than just a daughter. She might be a key. A key to what? We don't fully know. But there are whispers that Faith's survival is connected to something ancient. Something rooted in the stones. Something even darker than time. We've always assumed the stones were neutral, mysterious. Portals governed by rules we barely understand. But what if they're not? What if they're hungry? What if the cost of bringing Faith back is something Claire hasn't realized yet? Maybe someone else has already paid the price. Maybe someone else will have to pay it, like Jaime, or Bree, or Mandy. That's the horror of it. In Outlander, time is never kind. It gives, but it always takes something greater in return. Meanwhile, let's not forget how this emotional chaos is already splintering the fandom. Some fans are ecstatic about Faith's return, calling it the twist the show needed to raise the stakes in the final season. But others are devastated. They believe this twist erases the importance of Claire's grief in Season 2, undermines the emotional weight of everything that's come before. And then there's the anger over Jenny's absence. People aren't just disappointed, they're furious. Social media has exploded with comments like, "How can they give us Faith and take away Jenny?" Or, "This isn't Outlander without Jenny's fire." For years, Jenny was the voice of reason, the protector of Lallybroch, the woman who kept Jaime grounded when the world went mad. And now, in the most pivotal chapter of Jaime's life, she's missing. It's a wound that many fans can't accept. Her absence feels like an unfinished story, an unspoken goodbye that's been stolen from us. And in a season already packed with loss, the absence of that one steady presence hits even harder. If the showrunners thought they could quietly write her out, they were wrong. Fans are grieving this decision in real time. And it's adding to the emotional weight Season 8 is already carrying like a ticking bomb. But the most tragic part? None of this guarantees a happy ending. The writers have already made it clear that the show's finale will not match the books. That means all bets are off. Jaime might die. Claire might lose her powers. Faith might be taken again. Or the worst case scenario, Jaime and Claire might be forced to part forever, not by choice, but by time itself. After everything they've been through, after all the wars and deaths and betrayals, imagine that being the final twist. The stones pull them apart one last time. Jaime stuck in the past. Claire lost in the future, and neither one can come back. No goodbye, no closure. Just silence. That kind of ending would be soul-crushing. But sadly, it would also fit the tone of this show. Because Outlander has never been about perfect endings. It's been about fighting for love, even when the world says it's impossible. It's been about surviving loss and finding joy in the fleeting moments before everything falls apart. And if the final season leans into that theme, We're not walking out of this with dry eyes or whole hearts. There's also the question of legacy. What does Outlander leave behind when it ends? The story may be wrapping up, but the next generation, Bree, Roger, Mandy, Jaime, are just getting started. If the rumors are true, the finale might tease a spin-off focusing on the children. Especially if Mandy inherits a gift even stronger than Claire's. That's why Faith's return could be a setup, not just for the finale, but for a new saga. A fresh bloodline, a different kind of story. But if that's the case, it might come with a cruel trade, the loss of Jaime and Claire. Ending Outlander by passing the torch to the next generation would be poetic, but only if it's done with care. Fans want closure. They want meaning. And most of all, they want to believe that the pain we've all endured through 8 seasons was worth it. Whether the writers deliver on that or not is the ultimate question. But one thing's certain. They're going to make us feel everything on the way there. As Outlander Season 8 prepares to close the book on one of the most beloved and emotionally charged sagas of television, it's clear that we're not just heading toward an ending. We're approaching a full-circle collapse of time, love, and legacy. Faith's return, as miraculous as it seems, may not be the hopeful reunion fans are imagining. Because this isn't a fantasy world where lost children come home without consequence. In Outlander, every gain slices open another loss. And if Faith is alive, if she's grown, if she's hurt, if she's angry, then Claire and Jaime's entire world is about to unravel. The grief they carried for years gave shape to their bond, to their purpose. Now, all of that is called into question. Was that pain ever real? Or was it manipulated? And how do they love someone who represents both the miracle of time and the betrayal of it? If Faith carries resentment, if she feels abandoned by the parents who never got the chance to raise her, that emotional storm could destroy the Fraser family from within. And if she possesses the same abilities as Claire or worse, stronger ones, then her very presence could disrupt the fragile fabric of time itself. This isn't just a reunion, it's a reckoning. And it's the kind of narrative choice that will force every character and every viewer to confront the most painful truth of all, that sometimes the past doesn't stay buried and love isn't enough to fix what time has broken. And while Claire is forced to face the ghost of the daughter she never got to know, Jaime is left walking the edge between life and death. We've seen hints from the trailers, and the cast's final journey will not be peaceful. Whether it's on a battlefield, in Claire's arms, or ripped away by the cruel hands of fate, Jaime's arc is nearing its end. And no matter how it plays out, it's going to destroy us. Because Jaime Fraser has been more than a romantic hero, he's been a symbol of loyalty, sacrifice, and resilience. Watching him fall, after fighting so hard to protect everyone he loves, is a wound the fandom won't recover from easily. And yet, that's exactly the kind of ending Outlander was always building toward. Not a happy ending, not a fairy tale, but a story soaked in blood, time, and eternal longing. If Claire loses him, truly loses him, it will feel like the end of her world. And maybe, just maybe, that's what opens the door to a final time jump. Maybe Claire, desperate to change fate one last time, risks everything to go back again. To find Faith, to save Jaime, to rewrite destiny. And in doing so, maybe she loses herself. That would be the ultimate sacrifice. And the ultimate end. And for those holding on to hope that the finale will bring some kind of peace, some moment of clarity or redemption, don't let your guard down just yet. Because the writers have warned us. Sam Heughan, Catriona Balfe, and even Diana Gabaldon have hinted that the ending will be emotional, unexpected, and divisive. That means twists, that means loss. And yes, that means heartbreak. Whether that comes in the form of a final goodbye, a character vanishing into time, or a revelation that rewrites everything we believed, it's coming. And there's no escaping. If Faith's return is just the beginning of the unraveling, The war, the separation, the secret's awe that is leading to a finale that will challenge everything we've held on to for 8 seasons. And even if Claire and Jaime survive, they won't be the same. We won't be the same. But through all the tragedy, one truth remains. Outlander was never about time travel or war or even history. It's always been about love. Enduring, impossible, soul-shattering love. And as the series ends, that love will be tested one final time. Maybe it will be torn apart. Maybe it will be redefined. But it will not disappear. Whether faith is a second chance or a cruel trick, whether Jaime lives or dies, whether Claire finds peace or vanishes into legend, what matters most is that this story never stopped fighting, never stopped bleeding, and neither did we. So brace yourself, because Outlander Season 8 isn't just the end of a story, it's the end of an era. And when that final moment arrives, when the screen fades to black and time stands still, there's only one thing we'll be left holding on to. The love that started it all.